Hey there, ukulele fans. Thanks for joining me at I Think I'm Gonna Uke. My name's Tony, and welcome back to part 2 of my video tutorial on how to play Dream a Little Dream of Me. I made a part 1 video of the same song, but at an easier level, and I'll leave a video card link at the end of this video to that one. This video is intended more for intermediate level players because I want to help improve your strumming technique, and I want to show you how to do a mute strum, and then also introduce the topic of open chord positions versus closed chord positions. But before I do that, I want to show you a trick first. So go grab your uke, tune it up, and I think we're gonna uke. Now I want to show you something mind-blowing. Now you've probably all seen some type of visual illusions before. You know those images where you think it's moving but it's not really moving? Those illusions are meant to trick your eyes. But what if I told you there's an illusion that can trick your ears? An audible illusion. Now I'm not talking about those green needle sound clips. I want to show you an audible illusion. I'm not using any audio tricks, there's no editing. This is just the raw audio from my camera. I want to show you something. Now you should all be able to hear these notes clearly. If I play the open strings on a standard tune ukulele, they're G, C, E, A. Those you can hear. Now if I play single notes along the G string, like G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. Those, you should be able to hear all of those notes clearly. Now what if I play notes along the A string? So we have open A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. Right? You should be able to hear all those notes clearly. And what if I play a chord? You can hear those notes ring out. And if I'm playing a chord, like a G chord, and if I add an extra note, like with my pinky, right here on the 3rd fret, you can hear that. And what if I play a note on the 4th fret here? You can hear that. Now what if I play a G chord but play the 4th fret on the G string? Can you hear it? You can't hear it. Now I'll show you how and why this works in just a few minutes. But first, I want to teach you how to mute strum. You might already know how to do a right-handed mute. That's when you strum and then you quickly press the soft pad of your right hand on top of the strings to mute the strings. But I'm not teaching that kind of mute strum. The one I'm going to teach you today actually uses both your left hand and your right hand. So first let's learn the right hand technique. You could use your first finger, but I want to show you to try to use your thumb because it's a little bit easier. So you just want to do a very quick strum, but very light, across just the strings like this. And be sure not to touch the strings with the soft part of your hand here, because we're going to add the left hand technique in just a second. So mainly just be very quick in your strum and very light. Alright, now let's learn the left hand technique. Now, because you're an intermediate player, you should feel pretty comfortable with all the chords. So we're going to just use a G chord as an example. So put your fingers in a G chord shape and just lightly rest them on the strings. Okay, but still maintain the G chord shape. And now try to push the strings about halfway down. So don't touch the fretboard, don't touch the neck or the fretboard, but just put a light pressure on the strings. So where you're not actually touching. Now if you were to strum now, you should hear dead strings like this. Okay. Now go ahead and push all the way down where you're pushing all the way down to the fretboard, where you're making a regular G chord. Okay, this is a regular G chord. So just strum slowly, just to kind of pay attention to the ringing out of that chord, of all those notes. Now what I want you to do is release about half of the pressure. Release half the pressure so your fingertips aren't touching the fretboard anymore, but you're not completely let go of the strings yet either, where you have that dead and mute strings. So we'll play the regular G chord and then lift up your fingers just slightly. You should be able to hear the sound quickly dampens by doing that. All right, now we're going to add both the right hand and the left hand together. So with the quick light strum of your thumb on your right hand, try it, and at the same time, you're releasing just halfway. You're not taking your fingers all the way off. You're just releasing just a little bit off that string. So you're still pushing them, but you're not pushing all the way down to the fretboard. So you can kind of hear it, that quick mute, okay? Now, we're going to incorporate this later in this tutorial for Dream a Little Dream of Me. All right, now for the chord progression. For Dream a Little Dream of Me, I'm going to go through the chord progression pretty quick. So you should already know most of these chords, and especially if you watch part 1 of this video, you should know all the chords. We have an A7, F major, an F minor, a G7, E7, an A, and a G flat minor. This same chord is also called an F sharp minor. So a G flat minor or an F sharp minor. Now for these set of chords, like an A7 or an F minor, G7, for all of these chords, there's at least 1 or maybe 2 open strings, which means I'm not actually touching it with my fingers. Like for a G7, for example, this top G string is an open string. Or for an F major, we have 2 open strings, right? The C and the A. So any chord position or chord shape where some of the strings are open, that means you're not pushing them, those are referred to as open chords. Now the other type of chord positions are closed chord positions. So that means that your fingers are actually pushing on all 4 strings. So for example, like a B minor, my fingers are pressing down on all 4 strings. Now what makes the closed chord positions so interesting is that once you're playing all the notes, your chord position is now movable. So I can play a B minor here, but if keeping the same position, if I slide down 1 fret, there's a C minor. Now if I slide down 1 more, that's C sharp, or C sharp minor. If I slide down 1 more, that's a D minor. It's the same as a D minor up here, but it's a higher octave. So the chord progression for this song, we're going to play a G, and then we're going to use our 4th finger and play that B note, that 4th string on the 4th fret. So this is the same chord shape that I showed you at the beginning, the illusion. Now the reason you can play this is because it's exactly the same chord and you can't hear this B note. But by adding this note, you're changing your open chord G to a closed chord G. And once you do this, now you can slide your G all the way up and down the neck and play every chord there is. You can play it G, A flat, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. You can go all the way down. So in this song, we're going to have to play a G and an A flat. Actually, we play an A flat right before the G. So we're going to play an A flat, G. So we're going to use a closed chord shape so we can quickly shift and slide from the A flat to a G. Now I want to show you how you can take an open C major chord shape like this and we'll play it in a closed position. So first we can figure out how to do that by playing an A major, because an A major is an open position like this. But if I were to slide this down 2 frets and play these same notes here, but if I bar it here, this is your B. This is a B major, and the B major is a closed shape, a closed chord. So if I slide this down 1 more, that's a C major. That's the same as the C major here, but it's a higher voicing. So when we have to change from a C major to a B7, we can quickly do it just by sliding up 1 fret. All you have to do is just take off your 3rd finger, which is playing a C major this way, to a B7 this way. That's an A flat. So we can play a G major from our A flat position like this by sliding lower 1 fret or sliding up 1 fret. That's a G. So we're still holding all the exact same notes as our G shape this way, but we're just barring it instead. So we're barring an A flat and a G major this way. So if from your barred A flat, which is a closed position, notice how close you are to the closed C position. So you only have to move your 2nd finger to to play a C. Now you can quickly switch from a C major to an A flat, which you do have to do in this song. So by using these closed position techniques, you can actually make chord changes a lot easier. For sure you do have to know how to bar, and that takes some practice, but using these options really kind of unlocks the neck of the ukulele, gives you a lot more options and variety of chord shapes that you can choose from. Now for the song. We're going to play through Dream a Little Dream of Me, but we're going to incorporate these new closed positions, particularly for the C major. We're going to play it this way. We're going to play it A flat this way, G major like this. We have our regular B7, but we still have open chords for an A, A7, F, and an F minor. Now we're going to play through the song and incorporate some of our closed chord positions as well as mute strumming to give it a nice jazzy feel. So we're going to start off with a closed C position. Stars shining bright above you, night breezes seem to whisper, I love you, birds singing in the sycamore tree, dream a little dream of me, say nightie-night and kiss me, just hold me tight and tell me you miss me, while I'm alone and blue as can be, dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you, sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you, but in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. And there you go. So I hope you learned a lot. If you enjoyed the video and this lesson, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. And until next time, have fun playing and God bless.